As we get into the holiday season, that means we're with our families again, and sometimes that means things can get a little tense at times.
I like to look at it as a good time with your families, Kim, but if you're going to be negative about
Well,
it,
no,
so be
I'm
it.
not. I didn't say. Let's get to Dr. Ziegler. Jeez, oh
Our family
Lordy.
and parenting expert, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, with us to talk about some of the best ways to manage those, because that does come with it. There's always the great time to see your family, but there's also, as time goes by. So how do you address conflict if you see it coming? What do you do?
Well, the first thing is to see it coming, right? I think most of us say, okay, we know who's going to be sitting around the table, who's going to talk politics, who's going to talk about the hot button issue. So you can usually see it coming. Do something about that ahead of time. That's my first piece, is plan for it. Most of the time we know it's probably going to come.
So my answer to that is, and this is probably real for some people, is leave the room. But that's not, you're not solving anything. You're just solving your own deal. So what would you like to see people do instead? More proactive, more helpful?
Yeah, I mean, in another way to frame that, though, is like taking a time out. That's okay, too. You can say to yourself, like, let me take a deep breath. Let me go in the kitchen and fix something, take a little space, right? But I think some of the other things to do, which is really hard for people, are setting boundaries. And that is really hard. Your own boundaries. How much am I going to eat? How much am I going to drink?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Am I going to serve how much alcohol? Those kinds of things. How long are people going to stay? Or how long am I going to stay? If people are coming into town or you're going to someone's house, how many days makes sense? Because what happens is, first day or two is great. Maybe by day 3 or 4, not so great anymore. Set those boundaries. It helps a ton.
Yeah, sometimes I think so many people say that is like they're just exhausted. You are exhausted by the holidays. Yes. Many of us are. And then that brings on personal stress. So how do we kind of identify, like, I'm at a breaking point and how do I deal?
Yeah, I think, this is the season of putting on way too much stress and really having that sense of overdoing everything, the preparedness, the holiday magic. And
everything perfect.
Right, everything's going to be perfect and everyone's going to get along. And so we somewhat set ourselves up to fail.
Yeah.
So I really feel like there's a big movement this year to really be easy on yourself, to set realistic expectations, to keep things within a bounds that, like, it's probably going to go really well here. Don't go a minute over, or don't go a day over that. Have it end really well. And the last thing that I would say really is, if you have to have a conversation, there's a conversation you and your brother or your sister or your mother have to have, try to have it before. Try to say, hey, in the next 10 days, you're going to be spending some time here. I know we have some unresolved issues. I really want this to be a great holiday.
That relates to something I noticed that seems to me to be a big change, where it used to be when your family would all get together, you would really catch up. What's new? What have you been doing? Tell me about the last few months, your job, your school, whatever it is. Nowadays in social media, I already know the answer to all the questions. Yeah. I already know what you've been doing. I know you have a puppy and his name is Skip and he likes to chew your shoes. I know everything. It makes the conversations harder because I already know.
I think that's such a great point. And I think we've also, so if that's true, maybe schedule in then, or like think about, playing some board games together, playing card games together. Lots of families bond over playing card games or poker or whatever it might be. So everyone has their own family dynamic. And so I think just having, especially for the person who's hosting, just give it a little bit of forethought. Try to set everybody up for success. Be proactive instead of being reactive. And really set your intention with the whole family, too. What do we hope to get out of it? Have we not seen each other? Maybe because of COVID. Maybe some families haven't been together the last 3 holidays. So think about, what is the intention that I want to get out of this, and really try to set yourselves up for success.
We talked a little bit about alcohol, too. Alcohol can, we call it a social lubricant at times, but it also can be inflammatory. It can cause problems, especially, among a bigger group.
Absolutely, and especially alcohol affects us in different ways. If we have pent-up anger or tension or something I have needed to talk to you about, alcohol's probably not going to set me up for success. It's probably going to make me say something inappropriate, or at the very, very wrong time. All of a sudden, during a family prayer, I'm going to say, and I'm going to pray for this. So I think, alcohol, you really have to think about your relationship with it. How do you do that in moderation? How do you just enjoy yourself? You have to have those honest conversations with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes there's the angry ones and then the criers and then
And if you do it right, or if you get lucky and it goes right, you have a great holiday.
Yeah.
You really get to spend time with everybody.
Make some memories. That's what you should do. Make memories.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it's a great time for everyone. Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, thanks as always.